the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. We're going to do another Brian Reads the News segment. This one is coming to us from Ranker.com. Ranker.com, it asks, which ex-presidents would you want to go on a bender with? This is by Elise Hennigan, updated December 15th, 2024. Did you know that some of the former presidents of the U.S. were huge drinkers and recreational drug users? Huge. Granted, most people in the country were pretty hard drinkers in the 19th century. Got a toothache, whiskey, depressed, gin, starting the day, cider. But even in the context of their own time periods, these ex-presidents loved to party. Here's the question, which one would you most want to go on a bender with? Think hard, this is totally serious and important. Says here, Urban Dictionary defines a bender as the status of being bent for more than a day. Usually results in loss of memory, money, strange tattoos, and other things you'll have a hell of a time explaining. So, not just a couple of beers at a bar, but a full-on blackout fest. Which former president would you bring with you? Which one? So I want you guys to watch. So we're going to start at number 12 and work our way back to number 1. At number 12 is Chester Arthur. Chester A. Arthur was a snobby, by many accounts, lazy New York who loved to party. According to fellow ex-pres Rutherford B. Hayes, Arthur's presidency was marred by liquor snobbery and worse. Rutherford sounds like a buzzkill. Arthur consistently slept in past 10, wore dandyish outfits, indulged in 12-course meals on the reg, and refused any type of physical exertion. Rather than walk to places, say, down the street, he took a fancy carriage everywhere, and he drank himself silly on the fancy carriage. Pros: Arthur pretty much invented the very first party bus. The party carriage. You know you were getting cray in there. 12-course meals, perfect start to end to a bender. Cons: the whole snob thing could get old. Number 11 on the list was Richard Nixon. Nixon was a nightly drinker, and it was rumored that he was into this drug called Dilantin, an anti-seizure medication that also had mood-altering properties. Pros: he would probably have Dilantin to share if you're into that. Cons: he had a tendency toward depression, total downer. He assumed the worst in people, and he brought out the worst in them. He clung to the idea of being tough, may or may not be your idea of a good time. At number 10 was Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland. With nicknames like Big Steve and Uncle Jumbo, Grover Cleveland sounds like a natural drinking buddy. Fun fact, at one point during his 1870 campaign for District Attorney of Eyre County, New York, Cleveland and his rival agreed to drink only 4 glasses of beer per day, only to later decide it was too restrictive an amount. Pros: Grover was a huge cigar smoker, and being the president and all, he could probably supply very nice ones. Cons: he married his best friend's daughter, a woman 30 years younger than him, so that's sort of creepy. He had a weird gout problem in his feet, causing him to limp many years. This could unfortunately result in a literal pub crawl. At number 9 was James Buchanan. James Buchanan was a wealthy bachelor with a taste for the finer things in life. He was also a heavy drinker. He reportedly could drink several bottles of alcohol in the course of an evening and could hold his liquor well. It's been also said that he was our first gay president. Pros: his money could come in handy buying substances, making bail, picking up hookers. Bachelor life equals a pretty relaxed responsibilities at home. Cons: like many other presidents, he suffered from chronic depression. At number 8 was William Howard Taft. Taft was a hell of a guy. He didn't drink himself, but he loved to push liquor on all of his dinner guests. Taft was also famously obese, 330 pounds, and narcoleptic, so there's that. Pros: if you could get him to have a few drinks, his tolerance would probably be sky high. He was a member of the secret society Skull and Bones. Access: no drinking equals a designated driver. Cons: his narcolepsy could be a liability. You don't want a limp body that you can't lift on your hands. At number 7 is Jimmy Carter. Not sure what kind of bender you're into, but Jimmy Carter was a total teetotaler. He actually is the only president to have all the liquor removed from the White House. Total buzzkill, am I right? Pros, he could be the designated driver. Cons, everything else. At number 6 on the list is Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce was another well-known drunk. He was vocal about it too. Apparently, when his term of presidency was over, he said, "There is nothing left but to get drunk." Kind of sad, but also just the attitude you need for a partner in crime. Commitment. Pros, fact that Franklin Pierce had the best hair of any presidents. He had total swagger. He was also the party ethic of a hard drinker. Cons, he eventually died of cirrhosis of the liver, sort of takes the fun out of it. Pierce could be moody, sad, and moody. At number 5 is Franklin D. Roosevelt. A couple important facts to know about FDR, one of America's greatest presidents. Number 1, repealed prohibition, and it wasn't easy. The temperance movement had gained steam, and illegal bootleggers were more than happy for alcohol to continue to be illegal. Number 2, he made a goddamn good martini. And pros, that martini though. FDR loved boating, sailboats, houseboats, party boats. Most people know that FDR was wheelchair bound for many years of his life. You think they make a wheelchair bound ex-president wait in line at a club? Cons, he maintained tight control over his image, which is why wheelchair pictures are hard to come by. Sounds like a bit of a control freak. At number 4 is John Adams. Think John Adams was a square just because he wore a powdered wig and was super into the Continental Congress? You'd be wrong. Dude loved to drink. In fact, it's fairly common knowledge that the founding father and second POTUS drank a large tankard of hard cider every morning for breakfast. Pros, he could tell you what a tankard is. Drinking at breakfast equals no hangovers. He started drinking at age 15, so you know he can handle his ish. He'd have ciggies. John Adams started smoking at age 8 and continued until he died when he was 90. Cons, the former prez stated that the reason why he drank in the morning was that it helped relieve his gas. TMI, buddy. And like most of our founding fathers, he could be a bit verbose. So unless you have patience for that, it probably counts as a notch against him. At number 3 is Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant was a known alcoholic, a binge drinker. Some reports mention a personal barrel of whiskey that he'd sip from all day during the Civil War. He won that one. There's the thing. Grant's drinking problem made him an awesome leader on the battlefield. He was fearless, uninhibited, and commanding. Grant was pretty much a failure at all other aspects of life, but give him an army to command and a glass of whiskey to sip on, and he'd make you proud. Pros, he's a war hero. Somebody's got to buy a round of drinks for that. War stories, literally. Cons, being a short man, Grant was known to have the lightweight tolerance of a teenager. Going on a bender with someone who actually has a drinking problem is always kind of sad. At number 2 is George W. Bush. W is allegedly sober now, but he partied hard until his 20s and 30s. Jokes aside, this guy actually went on benders back in the day. DUIs, drunken stealing sprees, alleged cocaine use, the real deal. If you can ignore your opinion of the guy as a politician or not if you're a fan, then Georgie would probably show you an honest-to-goodness great time. Pros, George W. is funny, especially when he is trying to sound smart. Everyone has a favorite Bushism. I quote, "I know how hard it is for you to put food on your family," is a good one. Imagine the laughs. Cons, for essentially being political royalty, he sure gets caught a lot for doing a lot of stupid things. He's been arrested 3 times. You do not want to get arrested on your imaginary bender. And finally, we made it to that top spot. The top spot, of course, is John F. Kennedy. JFK wasn't exactly a notorious drunk, but he did have some hobbies that would make him a respectable bender partner. According to many reports, he was a sex fiend. Famous starlets, staffers, strippers, whatevs. Some associates always said that JFK enjoyed recreational LSD and loved to smoke cigars. Compound that with the fact that JFK was easily our most suave and handsome ex-pres, and you've got yourself a formidable contestant. Pros: JFK was an idealist. You'd want that kind of positive energy around you. He also had an iron will, and you could help you keep your bender on track. You get to meet Jackie O at the end of it all. Cons: his promiscuity could somehow be a liability. Alright, so there you have it. JFK at number 1 with 699 votes. It asks there, would you pick him? What do you think? JFK, yeah, he'd be a good person to have a bender with, right? Once again, this article is brought to us by Ranker.com. It asks, which ex-presidents would you want to go on a bender with? You can go up to this site and check it out in more detail if you would like to see some more information on all this. The photos, all the information I read to you is all up there for your viewing pleasure. If you like this sort of thing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here's a look at my channel. Real easy to find. It's just my name, Brian Kingsbury. Currently sitting at 1.08 thousand subscribers with 4.4 thousand videos. So go on up there, hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell, and plan to make these videos a regular part of your day. Like I said, there's a lot of these fun videos up on the channel, and if you could do me a huge favor, give this one a like. Hit that big thumbs up like button. That'll help get it in front of a few more eyes. I thank you for watching this one to the very end. Once again, I'm Brian Kingsbury. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.